Hello, you carnival cockbaiters. Jim Sterling here, and this is Drawn to Death. This is the PS4 free-to-pay game that came out this week, a couple of days ago, if you want to be slightly more specific, but not too specific. This was my first proper match. I'd had a go at the training staff, and I'd had one shitty one-on-one that was just awful. And this is my first proper full match, because obviously before the servers went live, ain't no one was playing. And even on launch day, not a lot of players about, or at least server issues. It was hard to get into a game. It's a bit better now. And it's alright. It's okay. I'm playing Cyborgula here, which I think has become my personal favourite character. I thought Ninja was going to be, that's that one there, the Ninja Shark. But I didn't quite get on with her moveset too much, so Cyborgula has become my favourite. This was me more or less just testing him out, but I thought it was a good enough match that I would record it for posterity and talk to you over it. So, it's a third-person shooter with 4 players. It can either be 2-on-2 or 4 against all or whatever. And as a third-person shooter, it's okay. I mean, looking at it here, it's obviously graphically simple, but stylistically it accounts for that. So it's interesting. It's like a child's notebook come to life. So it makes an interesting visual style that looks crappy on purpose, and I'm actually okay with that. I thought, I mean, apart from him clipping through the bit of wall there, you know, I thought when I first saw trailers for it that it would look really shitty in action, but actually playing it, it works. It works a lot better than I thought it would, than I gave it credit for, in fact. But that's that. What really makes this game different, apart from the economy, which we'll talk about, from just shooting each other, are the powers. As you see with Cyborgula here, this is the first power, I think it's called Swarm, where I'm always missing with it. And this one is Blood Feast or something, but the first one is basically just to launch yourself at someone and hit them, and you get chances to keep the chain of attacks going if you keep hitting people. The second one is you keep the target on someone like a homing thing. It's basically like homing missiles, but with bats or whatever it is Cyborgula's deal is. So this is me caught in Ninja's power here. She's chained me down and drained my ability to use powers and stuff. So another specific, Cyborgula specific move is the self-destruct. And yeah, every character does, despite them all having access to the same guns, they all do feel quite different to play, which is like quite dramatically different with their moves. Even though some of the moves are quite similar, you know, almost everyone has a launching attack, if not launching themselves, launching something. But everyone does have their own special feel. The L1 button, which I'm using there to fly, does a lot of different evasive things with other characters. Or in the case of one character who's coming up next, I forget her name now, but I'll remember it when it comes up. Her power, when you press L1, she'll kneel down and get extra power from whatever gun she's firing. So, yeah, everything's unique. Everything is its own special sort of thing. And I've had fun trying the characters out, so that's good. So that's all positive stuff. It's all positive stuff. It is rough. The shooting feels, you know, very loose and free, and I think some of that's by design. But even if it is on purpose, it still comes off a little bit, meh. Meleeing especially is weird. Just, you'd see us both there trying to melee each other. It was a shit show. Characters feel floaty, which... Floaty is such an overused term. It's become a kind of a dead horse term for games criticism. Years ago, it was passé to say. But sometimes I still feel compelled to use it. And in these, you know, these characters feel like, I guess, like they're made of paper, which they ostensibly are. So again, it might have been on purpose, it might not have, but nevertheless, the result is the same, you know. I like the way you drop in reminds me of that, what was the game? Was it Sector 8 that had you fly in like that? Section 8. An otherwise unnotable FPS that had a fun little drop-in mechanic. Titanfall, of course, does it to certain degrees as well. But I like because they each get their own little entrance music when they respawn. So, again, just to make each character feel different. I like the Cyborgula also has, he sounds like Dr. Weird from Aqua Teen, so that's cool. So, economy-wise, it is fee-to-play, not free-to-play. I initially thought it was free-to-play, but it was only free for PlayStation Plus members. Which is kind of a moot point at this stage, because to play it, it's an online shooter, so you'd be a PS Plus subscriber anyway. So, technically, it's free. It's, I guess, free-ish to play. But it is also technically, I think, like $10. I think, really, they should have just straight up said it was free to play to avoid confusion. Because it, you know, it feels like a free-to-play game. It's got that slightly cheap feeling to it. While still being competent and satisfying to play. Like I said, it's a reasonably enjoyable shooter. I've been having a good laugh with it. And the humour is forced, but that is one thing where I do feel like it's deliberate, but also it works. This commentator here, like, sometimes he'll do commentary plays that go on for so long that you're not in the match long enough to hear it. And it's, like, clearly on purpose, droning on. At one point, the commentator's voice came through my DualShock 4 speaker, and it was asking me what I was wearing. It does weird little things like that. And it's so over the top that it gets away with being, like, overly edgy. And again, at first when I played it, I was like, okay, the game's just saying fuck for the sake of it, and that's the punchline, and that's not particularly amusing. But as I continued watching it, I found myself endeared to it. And I think what helps is the game's given a bit of heart when you read the descriptions of weapons in the notebook, in the menu. I'll come to this bit here. Remember how little blood just went into that key there, though. That's something that's key to the thing. Well, actually, fuck it, I'll talk about it now. The blood's pouring into there, that's activating blood keys. This is a new match. There we are, Diablo Tijuana. So, blood keys are used to buy weapons. They're not just cosmetics, they're used to buy weapons. And, yeah, that's a game-changing thing. And the drip feed of unlocking them is so fucking slow. Like, it's so fucking slow. It's worse than, way worse than Overwatch's reward system in pretty much... forgive me, I'm not as decent in this match, the team deathmatch, as I was in the other one. And plus I was feeling this character out for the first time, so forgive me being awful. Anyway, what was I saying? Yes. It takes a long time to unlock anything. To get a mystery box, which has like the cosmetic items and taunts and other sort of goodies in there. To unlock those, you get one every 150 in-game kills, which is quite a long time. You know, Overwatch was more generous than that. And yeah, like anything that's earned in-game just takes a very long time. I don't feel like I've made much progress at all, and I've, you know, played it a fair bit now. But I just, you can level up characters and, you know, unlock things there, but it's all just, everything feels like a pittance, you know? And, yeah, it's just so muddied by the fact that it's a you need PS Plus to kind of play it, but it does cost money, but it does have microtransactions, so for someone like me who, you know, is very keenly sensitive, some might say overly sensitive to the idea of microtransactions in games that you pay for up front, it represents an interesting issue, you know. So, something I'm thinking about, just because I'm wondering about the microtransactions especially, because I don't have a problem with them in proper free-to-play games. And I've often said if the game is fun enough, and it makes me feel like I would like to spend money rather than feel like I'm forced to, then I have no problem with them. And here it's all just a little bit of everything. I am enjoying the game enough to where I would feel okay giving it money. But, you know, the price point is a complicated one, and also just the reward system being as shitty as it is to try and get you, and even the game through, you know, quote-unquote jokes, makes a point that, oh, it's trying to get your money and tempt you with things. Haha, self-awareness, we're doing the thing that we're making fun of. All that shit. It's just a game that I'm a little bit torn on right now. But, I mean, at least in terms of just the solid gameplay, divorced from the business side of it, I have been enjoying it. I have been looking forward to playing it. I've been looking forward to getting done with Mass Effect Andromeda, so that I can get back to, so I can dedicate more time to this fully. Not that I've hated my time with Mass Effect Andromeda, I've just, you know... My review draft is done now, and that'll probably go up today, if it's not up already by the time this video's done uploading. And, you know, I basically split the difference on Andromeda. I was like, yeah, I've had some fun with it. I've also been bored to tears by it. I've laughed at its glitches. I've been exasperated by its low quality. So just a straightforward 5 on that one, just a 5er there. Almost got me with that. I'm assuming you deal damage or get a kill if you land directly on someone, but so far I've not quite seen it. See, here the game is where it kind of falls apart as a shooter when it's just when you're just using guns, when your powers are done. It's a little bit dreary, a little bit of a slog. It often is just people circling each other, hoping they land more shots before going off to grab health. Obviously, the powers are there to whittle away the health. Well, not whittle away. Deal big chunks of damage so that the guns are whittlers and just deal with a little bit of... So desperate to avoid the fucking self-destruct from Cyborgula, I just fell backwards through the thing. But anyway, there are really nice costumes, though, in this game. But what really worked for me is that I said Cyborgula has become my favourite. And also, out of the potential, because you get to look at them all, out of all of the potential costumes for Cyborgula, my favourite one was Bugula, which is him as a praying mantis. They're all actually quite dramatic cosmetic changes. They don't just change a bit of the costume. They can go full bore with that. Like, Cyborgula just stops looking like a Terminator version of the Master from Buffy and is a Terminator version of a praying mantis. And that's all cool. But like I said, it's just... Oh, no. I've already done with the criticism. What I was going to say was... they give you one free sample mystery box, and Bugula was the first costume. So I basically beat the system. Not only did I win this match, I won Drawn to Death. Go me.